What's going on? What's going on? Man, let's get into some Tyson Fury talk, man. So, I don't know. This guy's team seems to be confused or something like that. They obviously seem to not be on the same page whatsoever. Bob Arum had come out and said that this fight is looking like it's probably not going to be in December because Bob Arum really, really wants a crowd. He doesn't want to lose the money that's coming from that particular, from the crowd. You know what I mean? Pretty much that's the reason why they paid Tyson Fury all this money in order to get him is because of these two fights. For the first Deontay Wilder fight, obviously, and then for the second one. And the second one is a 60-40 split. Tyson Fury's team's way. So, and Bob Arum's getting a huge chunk of that. He'll invest up front to make that money later in the back end. And this is basically as the back end. Tyson Fury's promoter comes out and says that no, that they're not fighting on February. If Wilder doesn't want to fight by December, that they're just going to move on, which is weird because Deontay Wilder's not the one that's saying that he doesn't want to fight in February in December. It's Bob Arum, who's part of Tyson Fury's team. You know what I mean? So he's not going to have his fighter wait around until February. They're just going to, they're going to fight. And if Wilder doesn't want to fight him, they're going to just move on. That's like basically been the big story in the last day or two. But to be honest, at the end of the day, it's really much ado about nothing. His promoter said one thing, which was true. He said that, the team has to be, has to be here. The two teams have to be, in cohesence in order for everything to happen. And he's right. He's just wrong about the parties that need to be on the same page. The parties that need to be on the same page is Bob Arum and Deontay Wilder's team. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much when Tyson Fury signed that deal, he signed his rights away, basically. Bob Arum's in control of what happens with Tyson Fury for the next couple of fights. You know what I'm saying? He's basically got money up front to be an indentured servant. That's what he is. His job is to do what he's told. When they say be here on this particular day, his job is to be there on that particular day, period. That's it. You know what I mean? That's why he got all that money up front. And Bob Arum's going to get his. Bob Arum is a penny pincher, as you see with Lomachenko versus Teofimo Lopez fight. You know what I mean? He's like, yo, this is what it is. If you can't have a crowd, this is what the purchase is. If you don't like it, F you. That's how he is. So he wants that crowd really, really bad. Especially with a fight on this magnitude, you're looking at a lot of money. A lot of money that would be left on down the table. So he's going to try to push it as far as possible to see if they can do that. And this helps out. And I know Deontay Wilder obviously doesn't have an issue with it because it gives him more time to prepare and it gives him more time to heal from his injuries. This whole thing that happened when it pertains to Deontay Wilder's career probably is the best thing that ever happened to him because it gives him time, it has given him time to completely heal from his injuries. So, and time to also prepare and get better, with the whatever skills that he needs to work on. So pretty much that's what it is. If he decides it's going to be on February, and that's what Bob Arum wants, that's what's going to happen. They say they want to, move on so they can try to set up an Anthony Joshua fight. But that can't happen for two reasons. Number one, Anthony Joshua's contractually obligated to fight Pulev next, IBF. They would have to say, okay, no, we're going to take a step back or whatever in order for that particular fight to happen, which is not going to happen because Pulev is who? Bob Arum's fighter. And Bob Arum really wants that fight really, really bad. He wants it real, real, real bad. So he's not budging when it comes to that. So that fight's not even available anyway. And the other thing is that Anthony Joshua's not going to fight him anyway. Everybody has this thing about them having this big, huge unification, them doing this fight. Anthony Joshua didn't want to fight him whatsoever before. Then all of a sudden now he wants to fight him. It's just same BS talk like they were doing with Deontay Wilder. When it comes down to it, if they really were to try to do the fight, it wouldn't happen. It's just not going to happen. They don't want to fight him. They have a long 8-year plan with that man. And even though that money would be okay to have those two fight, when you look at it over a 7-8 year period in which you can generate from Anthony Joshua, it's not a good deal. It's not worth it. So they're going to they're playing the long game. They've said they've been playing the long game for a long time, and that's what they're going to do. They're not going to put him in there with a 6'9" dude that's going to have 20 plus pounds on Anthony Joshua on fight night with that movement that can jab, that can move. He's like one of the worst. Basically, Deontay Wilder's style and Tyson Fury's style are the two worst styles that Anthony Joshua could fight. And they're not going to put him at risk whatsoever. They're going to just continue doing what they're doing. And that's it. So if everything really came down to it, they would not do the fight. Sorry, but it's not going to happen. Those two will not be fighting at all. Period. Period. And also the big thing is that when you're looking at, since it, let's say there is no crowd, let's say there is no crowd, the biggest, out of the two, the biggest fight is Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury is a UK fight. That's it. Even if they had a gate, there's only so much money they can charge over there. Over here, the gate for this fight, if they were able to get a gate, you're going to have tickets that are being sold for $10,000, $20,000. You're going to have $10,000, $20,000 tickets that are going to be sold for that particular fight. This would be the biggest fight of the year, period. And a big part of it also is, with the UK thing, you get UK pay-per-view. That's it if you have Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua. With Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury, you got the US pay-per-view at $80 a pop. And then on top of that, you also have the UK pay-per-view at $25 a pop or whatever. You get both. You get the double dip. And I don't know how it is in the UK, but also in the United States, when it comes to like all these bars and everything that are going to be having these matchups, people don't understand. You pay per what your place holds. So they end up having to pay a substantial amount of money to hold that event at the bars. And this would be an event where all the places would have it. All the places would have it, because that fight will get that place packed up. So they're going to order that fight, which is going to cost them thousands of dollars to get the fight. So then we're talking about a substantial amount of money, that you get from this particular fight. Where if it's a Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua, you're just picking from one well. That's it. You're picking from just one little well. So this is the bigger fight, and Bob Arum is going to want that bigger fight. He's going to want that larger fight. ESPN wants that fight because that's an American fight. That's a fight that's going to intrigue the American public. And it's going to put focus when they do all their shoulder programmings and everything at ESPN. People are going to watch that. When they put all the stuff online about the fight that's happening, people are going to go watch that. When Fox does it, they're going to watch that. So they're going to want that fight over that, quote, unification. Just because of the amount of intrigue that's going to come from this particular fight. The build up with all the glove talks and what happened with Wilder with the weight thing on it, what was going on with him, possibly with his water, all these different things, the dent on his head, all the stuff. It's just, there's so much drama in this particular situation. That's going to be the fight that's really going to bring in, bring in the real money. It's going to be something, they'll both make good money, but this fight makes substantially more money. And then the biggest thing of it is Wilder has a contract. Wilder gave him his opportunity. Wilder has a contract. That's an Al Heyman fighter. That thing is locked and sealed. Okay? There's no cracks in there at all. You know what I mean? That's Al Heyman is his advisor. So that thing is locked and sealed. So nothing's happening. He's not going anywhere. He's not doing anything. And at the end of the day, whatever Bob Arum and Deontay Wilder's team decides going to happen, that's what's going to happen. But for now, like, subscribe, share. I'm out.